Welcome back, ladies and gents. We are about to head into match number 2 of today. 6 games in total. We got the crazy one out of the way, Alex. We got Sanok just out of our system. I think it was about as crazy as we expected it to be, but a few teams just rising off the chaos, I feel like.
Yeah, you're saying unexpected. I'd say it's actually kind of at least in terms of performance. I kind of want to say it was expected because we had Ukraine up there, and we're going to take a look at the leaderboard in a second. We had Ukraine up there. We had France with some good performances. We had Moldova. So even I think Turkey, with the potential at least to have a big round, they kind of mess it up in the end. But at least with the potential to have a big round. So all these top teams, at least some of these top teams that we said were going to be the favorites, and that we said we're going to be standing at the top of the leaderboard after day one, had a pretty good showing. And obviously Ukraine with that circle. I was sitting there in phase 1 and I was thinking, if they mess this up, I think that's a huge upset in and of itself, because if you have that much space and you get the circle, you're not supposed to lose it on Sanok, right? And they played it to absolute perfection.
I think so too. I think they had a chance and they took it and they played it beautifully, and that's good to see. Yeah. We're gonna have to wait and see how all of that reflects on the scores, and we'll see. We'll keep you posted whenever we can. But that's a big starter, and I think that's a big deal because you really want to kick things off nicely and quickly. You hate to start with a bad map. It's just one more hurdle to overcome. Is the kind of mentality, right? You've seen, you saw that at the end in the 4v1. They realized, okay, it's a 4v1. They're driving circles around them. Everybody's just holding down, just towards them, running at them, completely just stomping them. No care in the world anymore, because they are mighty ready, you know? And they are now exactly in the mood that you want to be in, to finish today strong and to put yourself towards the top of the scoreboard. Other teams, like we said, Turkey, they had a pretty annoying game 1, losing a member early, not really getting anything going, losing more on transition, and then getting 1 point out of the game. It's not the end of the world at all, but it is something that will slow you down a little bit, and it was something that you have to overcome as a team.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a difference in how you approach these next games. If that is your first experience in a 20-team lobby or a 21-team lobby, also, I mean, I guess 20 enemies, you'll have a different feeling for the next couple of games. You'll not be as confident. You'll not be as optimistic in terms of consistently getting into late game. And Ukraine has got that feeling now. They've got the feeling of consistency. So I think just the mental aspect of now taking the first round in a lobby like this is huge. And once again, do not underestimate this. It's a completely different style of PUBG Mobile that's going to be needed to take the first place in a 21-team lobby as opposed to a 16-team lobby. I want to say there's less macro strategy involved. There's less options for wrapping around. There's lots more teams on the edges, meaning you can't just change edges after, I want to even say phase 2 as easily. So these big wraps, these big rotations, long rotations, maybe taking a smarter entry and edge are not going to be possible as much. So I think we'll see straighter entries, and obviously in turn favors teams that are going to be good at fragging and also good at isolating fights without being third party. And that's also what Ukraine has shown us. They were never in danger throughout the entirety of this round. They stuck to their compound. They stuck to that game plan of letting everyone else come towards them, because let's be honest, with 20 other teams, essentially 80 other players, you'll have enough options to get kills. You'll have enough options. You just need to prioritize position.
It's a really tough game, especially when what you talked about there is third-party opportunities, right? Even if you have the right compound, you get breached, and even if you defend the breach, there might be another team just filling into the back of that. So yeah, it's about finding the right opportunities to stay clean, and it's really, really tough. But the teams will have a better shot at staying a little bit more structured and a little bit more sort of in control on ERANGEL, I feel like, where there's a little bit more space. You can use your cars better. There's more open rotation routes. But it's still a crazy lobby, and it's still a lot of heavy fraggers in this. The Turkey guys, the France guys, you know, Ukraine, Moldova, so many teams that you can put up absolute numbers. It's never going to be easy. And it's going to be very easy to sit here and say, oh, yeah, you just have to be consistent. And it's going to be so hard for the players to do it. But we'll have to see what they do in ERANGEL, right?
Yeah, I think so, too. Also, I think this game has showed us perfectly that also these underdog teams are just not to be underestimated. I mean, we saw Poland literally picking up a second place in the last one, fighting themselves out of a really tough Western side as well. I think that was 4-5, maybe even 16s at some point, fighting for control of these warehouses. I mean, even Bulgaria had Icy, who went down really early on, trying to group up with his teammates. And that goes to show you, once again, some of these teams, the lesser experienced teams, some of these teams that don't necessarily have on the map as much, can get into at least influential positions. And Poland, with these 4 frags that they've gathered in the process of getting to the second place, will be in such a position as well.
For sure, and it's just every single point matters, and every single point will matter going into tomorrow, and going into the deciding matches. This plane, though, that we're seeing on ERANGEL here is a little bit less horrid. I mean, that Sanok plane was super rough for players, but once again, there's quite a bit of space towards the early jumps here, right? There's 3 players in Primorsk, 1 in Quarry, so lots of space for a West Coast team if they choose to be that. Germany right now looking like they're interested in that western side. And then a few teams stretching out to the south, and a very stacked Milta Farm area on first glance, but a bit hard to predict how these players will spread apart.
Yeah, looks like Germany's actually going to be on loan towards the hospital side. It's a really fair centralized circle. Same goes for the plane pass. So I kind of want to say this is the first real round for some of these teams. Just based off of the skirmishes that we've seen in phase 1 on Sandhawk, which have been less than experienced. This is disastrous. This is absolutely disastrous. Havlik has picked up a micro Uzi almost immediately. He's won the lottery with this one, because that is an important hot job to win, especially because Ukraine has just fought Turkey and they won the last game. They're looking at qualification anyways.
Yeah. It's rough times. If you're Turkey, they do commit for the hot drop. They don't want to dodge. They don't want to back out of it, but they lose Scylla so quick and early. It's one of the main man names on the roster, at least. They lose him so early. Now, to see if they can consolidate this, Tulika is already running for the next one as well, trying to get himself a bit of an angle on the eastern side of things. It's now in the hands of Ukraine to clean this one up, to close this one out. They have the man advantage, and they have to see what they can do with it.
Turkey cannot afford to go out of this round again. They had the survivability to at least get into 9th place, I believe it was last game. But as we all know, there's not enough to get a placement point. It's not enough to get a placement point. And yes, they were centralized for most of that round, but couldn't really do anything with it. They've just been picked up by multiple teams. And in the end, I think it was a single kill point that was being picked up before they lost the deciding 1v1. Now, on the other hand, it is Loxy turning things around as Tulika gets taken down. I don't think there's anyone close by. He's going to be flushed by Wild from distance. And that is a good first pickup. A good equalizer for Turkey, but it's also a team that needs it a little bit more, right? With Ukraine now picking up that massive win, which once more, we've said is a massive win also in terms of this global leaderboard situation in general, with how hard it is going to be consistent and pick up these frags. I think once again Turkey needs a little bit more than Ukraine.
They do, but it is back to square one at least. It is back to equal numbers for now, as they have picked up 1 in return. I think that's Germany next to Belgium. Really trying to confuse you with the flags here, as we see them load on up South George and the hospital area. Few ARs being picked up. Montenegro and Lipovka, meanwhile, nice and peaceful. And somehow we ended up with no real hot drop on Sanok and an instant hot drop on ERANGEL. So that's a special one as well.
Yeah. Weird, right? I don't even know how you dodge everyone on Sanok, but apparently everyone's done so. Next Snoke is coming in. Looks like Ukraine is going to lose another player once more. Good in Turkey. They need this. They need to win this hot drop. They need this round more than Ukraine. Definitely more than Ukraine. With an experienced lineup like this, they do have the standard of qualifying for a tournament like the IESF World Esports Championship. And by the looks of it, they're not giving up, despite that opposition winning the fight in the round beforehand.
I like the reposition here. I like them trying to isolate the knock and isolate the weakness they saw there as well. Old Boy getting tagged as he's trying to go for the res. You know, they see an opening there, but it's just a 2v2 they're taking. It's not like they're managing to single out a solo. It's not like they're creating an over power numbers situation, right? But they are trying to take the fight where they found the openings. Now, did they give up a whole lot of space on the other side of the road? Did they manage? Did they allow the third Ukraine player to make a move? Yes, they did. I like the idea. I like the idea of a good reposition, a fast reposition. I'm not sure if it's gonna work out here, Felix.
I'm not so sure either. Ukraine has gotten that player back up, and now Loxy is isolated in the meanwhile. But look at this. Athlete goes down. He tried to cross the distance. I think they tried to isolate Loxy, but they didn't realize that the Rectum Karia players, the Turkish players, have already closed the distance themselves. Allboy now spotting out the two players trying to storm his building. He's trying to create distance once again, but that nade, I think it hasn't even been in. I think it was a smoke, and he was on 1 HP anyway, so man, good on Turkey. They're playing this one really smart. Now just one player left alive. Actually, Ukraine being picked apart and outplayed to the best of Turkey's ability. And they're doing so quite confidently and quite convincingly as well. Once again, 3v1 now inside the city.
Well played by Turkey. Really, the frags coming out there, right? And as soon as they find another player, as soon as they find that knock, they know they have power numbers now, and they just swarm it. They don't give him any time to breathe. I think no meds there on Allboy anyways, so you wouldn't have even had a possibility for a first aid or a possibility for a reset, but they wouldn't have given him the time of day anyways. They were running up his stairs, even running through the smoke, no problem at all. So really nice aggression coming out of the Turkish squad, and that's exactly what you need to be able to pull off, and that's the gear you need to be able to shift into when you have the advantage. So good to see that they have it in them, and we'll see what they do with this 3-man roster now in this game, right? The circle wasn't all too bad for them. But we might just see them trying to close out the hot drop here, Felix, to just so have Rozok for themselves for the rest of the tournament.
I hope they're doing it as well. I mean, Fuchsman, that's if you know his position, that's a frag that you should pick up. It's an isolated 1v3. There's only limited amount of things that can go wrong with this one, and realistically, you should pick him up without losing a player. So that'll be another kill point on the board for you, which, as we've said, is quite valuable in a lobby like this, and a best of 12 like this, with 21 teams competing for just 5 spots. Once again, for the IESF World Esports Championship in Riyadh later this year. So, 1 point, and we've seen it happen, might be the difference between qualifying or not qualifying. So if you're going to get into a position like this, make sure to pick it up, and I think if they would have known his position, I think they would have gone for it already.
Yeah, that's the main challenge there. Because if you do not know the position, then it's very easy for things to go wrong. As soon as you've tracked him down, as soon as you know where he is, you can really control that 3v1. If you don't have an idea, tough times. Georgia, they're eyeing up Hungary here in the Severny area. And I don't think Hungary has any idea that this is really happening right now.
I don't think so either. And meanwhile, Luxembourg is starting their rotate as well. They have split this city with Germany over towards the western side already. They've not gone for a rather centralized position. Quite the opposite. They're still standing far towards the hillside of the Mount Everest, as we call it. With this centralized position, they are now starting their rotate in as well. Have to be careful. Belgium, I think it is right in front of them towards the ruins area. So rotating in there is not going to be as easy as they might think.
Gonna be tough for a lot of these teams. There's rotational routes, sure, but that's the challenge, right? If 20 teams stay alive throughout phase 1, it's going to be a challenge to find space, and it's going to be a challenge for our observers here as well. This is basically impossible to catch all the action here when there's so much going on. Romania is taking a few shots. They're pulling up on Serbia. Serbia in the kill feed here for a while now. They've been active. They've been aggressive. No, EXO is just flying into the rock. Oh, what is that? He picks it up as well. Turns it around. Tries to get a second. So much damage coming out.
What?
What is that?
And he's still standing. He's still kicking it. How about Biscuit just can't find the angle on taking him down? I think he wants to wait. And he continues to wait. But now EXO's rotating off. Bishka doesn't want to get the trades, and he's still not being spotted. They don't even realize he's there. Bishka is hiding in the car. What is happening? Bishka is hiding in the car. Is he driving off with them? Are you kidding me? I think they are. Oh, he's found him? Okay, yeah. So let's go take him down. What was that? That's one of the, I want to say, most experienced teams in this entire lobby now as well. And they have unfortunately lost the duel quite convincingly. It is Romania picking up massive points.
Oh, that was looking dirty from the Romanian squad. Now Germany on the other side, they're struggling versus Poland here. They've made the breach, but Util's coming out. I think 2 players at least have gone down already, maybe even 3. It might just be 1 left in the tower defending for the German side there. It is just 0. He does have a shotgun, but look at that. They're not giving him the time either. He's trying to dance around. He's trying to find angles, trying to find 1vx possibilities, but it's looking dodgy right now. Nades are coming up. They're going to clear 1 floor, and then they're going to go for the next. There's one with a shotgun. Can he get a second?
Oh, no.
Oh, he cannot. It's not meant to be. And Poland stay super clean in this. 5 kills. Not a single player lost so far.
Yeah, unfortunately, Germany just being obliterated there. A good pickup coming out from Poland. And yeah, they've gotten the entries. They've gotten 2 entries almost right away. And just clean it up based off of those frags. It was a good rotation. It was a really important compound as well. We said it was going to centralize out. That's always a good position to play off of. Plenty of information can be gathered towards the hillside, which you can play later on. As you can see, it does decide to shift up north. You're almost in the center already. Next fight's coming up. It is Ukraine being in all sorts of trouble, but also Luxembourg with, I think, a couple of trades coming back from Ukraine too. I think it's might be a 2v2 at this point, or a 2v1 with more players being flushed out. I actually think it's just 1 player left standing now, and he's being picked apart by the S12K, if I saw that correctly, from Foopsman as Ukraine picks up. Yeah, it was a 1v1 actually, picks up that clean next fight. And yes, they have been decimated, obviously, from Turkey, but they will still secure a couple of points, which is more than other teams were able to say about themselves in Sanok especially. 5 frags once more for Ukraine. And once again, good pickup.
Yeah, it's just crazy right there, right? He picks up all 4. I think just super clean, just making it look easy as well. And making it look like no big deal, but that's a big point in Fusion. Stays alive for now. We'll see if he makes it into the zone, but he's already picked up a massive bunch of points. And those are the points that you want to pick up every single game, right? If you can manage to pick up 5 every game, you're looking so much better on the leaderboard than teams that have 0 pointers every now and then. 60 alive still in this, as we are making our way into phase 3, into stage 3. And you can see that players are slowly trickling away, but some of the big teams here still sticking through this. Turkey is looking to take a fight towards Croatia, but there's more teams in Pachinki here that they have to deal with.
Yeah. More teams that are trying to rotate in. Also, kind of a symptom of a 21-team lobby, with more and more teams trying to find any kind of open space, despite it only being phase 3. So more and more teams are committing towards the I want to say, easiest entry, which is the city. But little do they know, 3 teams already inside of it. And look at this, Croatia is going to make quick use of that unknowingness, I guess you could say, of Azerbaijan, and more players falling as a result of that. They're not trying to get inside the city anymore. Playing outside of it is not going to work either. More players there from Bulgaria. And even inside school at this point, there's fights happening between friends who are still picking up fights. So everyone around the edges is in big trouble.
Everyone is trying to struggle their way on in. Turkey is holding on for now, looking clean versus Georgia here. Looking to pick up a few frags. Spain has not gotten involved just yet. Croatia picking some up on the other side. And like you said, it's the simple way in, maybe Pachinki, but it definitely isn't always the correct one. It can really come back to bite you, and it can come back to bite you even harder when you have to get out of there. But now we're seeing teams even struggling on their way on in. Just goes Dinu, left alive for Azerbaijan, trying to survive for a little bit longer, but he's got the Sharks hunting him down on both sides. And we'll have to wait and see if he can get away with anything here. It's not looking likely.
Yeah, Ukraine has just now been caught by France. It will pick up another zone. I think that's the 2nd or 3rd zone they will pick up. We said how important it is to salvage these isolated frags, these fights where you have them an advantage on. Actually, there's a second nade running and almost would have taken down the second player there as well. But yeah, France, and back to them, I think have already secured 3 or 4 frags up until this point. So once again, really strong round, really strong showing. I've talked about this. They've had a massive showing in the scrims as well. So not surprising to me at all.
Yeah, that's things you love to see, right? The circle doesn't come your way, but you're able to pick up a few kills here or there. You're making sure to take away points from the game. That's really what just makes it so much more consistent than everybody else in the lobby. Romania now struggling versus Montenegro, but they have taken the first few entries. They just gotta stay as clean as they can, because in just a few seconds they'll have to move again. So keeping numbers high here. Yes, you got 6 elims, but you're trying to keep these 3 players up to make a play later on. What that play is, I'm not quite sure. But knocks coming your way are going to slow you down so much, and are going to make it so much harder here as well, when a team is just breathing down your neck, knocking you from behind.
Imagine Germany winning that fight against Poland, because right now that's probably the most centralized position out of any of these teams. So Poland in a really good spot now to kind of the same that Ukraine did last time, right? You get the zone, you kind of just play it safe, make sure everyone's staying alive, and pick up the game that you get gifted. Once again, in a best of 12, you will get circles at least a couple of times. I mean, unless you're really just not playing for center at all and you actively rotate out of it, there is going to be certain things, and this is the beauty of PUBG Esports. Making use of the rounds that you can win is so important. And once again, Poland has now been put into that situation. So I want to see them make use of it. And that would also mean maybe another good round for them, and also another underdog potentially. Grabbing themselves a qualification spot early on. Yes, obviously, very early on, but already some good points being secured. But
Vasquez looking for the 1v1. He was looking for the easy nade, but there's the support from his teammates. Striker gets taken out. Spain picks up the first and cleans up a little part of Pochinki for themselves. They have a little space now. They can try and work with that. They can try and figure out where to go from here, even if the circle does leave them, as Crazy is already making his moves towards the zone and figuring out where to play later on. Romania, we said they should really try to keep players up. They've kept 2 up, I think. No, that's just Doran left. Okay, they actually lost both of the other 2, but at least he makes his way into zone for another few bits. But getting into placements is not going to be easy from here.
No, it could be easy. Good thing he's already secured himself 2 frags, and I think 6 frags in total for his team. Yes, for qualification, you might need a little bit more on average per round, but if that is one of your weakest rounds, which as of right now it is, then that's totally fine. Just once again, making use of the rounds you do get the opportunity to win some games is where it really counts. And this one surely hasn't been too many fights too early on. Next rounds are running in. There's a good headshot coming back. I think it's an AWM as well.
Yeah.
Somewhere in play, which is crazy because you would imagine with so many teams still alive in phase 4, phase 5, and phase 6 that we've seen, especially in last game, you wouldn't really have the time to pick up an airdrop. But apparently they did. So good on them. And AWM is going to come in handy, at least picking apart some of these Turkish players. They will have to find a couple of new helmets, a couple of new armor pieces if they want to continue peeking this. But for right now, it doesn't look likely.
Been finding impact. It's the second knock as well, and I think one of them they even managed to get the confirm at least later on versus Romania. So the impact's been there. The big gun has been ringing out. Poland now, you said they're in a good position, but they will have to move out of their compound eventually, and you can see they're already trying to make the moves. They're already preparing how they want to play out of this. They have plenty of teams to contend to. One of them is France on their north. They are trying to spoil that party, but so far it looks like they're busy knocking out other players. Moldova, though, they've got people cruising towards them. I think Czech Republic was just flying into them there. Yeah, there they are in the kill feed.
Yeah, I totally wanted to chime in there because I think Moldova is in a good spot now to ruin Poland's chances. We've seen Moldova be really strong in fighting, and they are 4 players up. Make that 3 now with a third party coming in from Turkey. But if they breach Poland there, I think they have a good chance of potentially taking over the compound. And as of right now, it looks like it's an isolated fight as well. More teams now running in towards that northern side. Everyone tries to get a piece of the hillside. It looks like France is going to be victor out of all of these skirmishes and fights that are happening as they're just cleaning up everyone towards their left-hand side, which is Bulgaria. 2 players have already been taken down.
And they're putting themselves in such a good spot to win this fight again. Bulgaria now letting the nades ring on out. They might get knocks here. They might even get confirms, but it feels like France is the team that's setting themselves up for the win after all in the end. Belgium just trying to hold out a few smokes to cover them. Not really all more to play with. You can see Croatia on the top there as well. Space is getting limited. It's going to get dicey here for Notorious and Icy, but they've stayed alive at least, and they are just peppering shots back out. There's Croatia getting into Belgium. I think it's just 1 left on that squad. You can see he's trying to hide out behind the cars. They might blow this up here in a second. His space is so limited. He's just dancing around the smokes, knocked as well, and there's France over the top. They want to claim this. This is their edge, and they want to take their fights here. They want to take their kills here. They just have to be careful not to overstep.
Yeah, they have to be careful not to overstep, but honestly, France is playing this one so methodical and so disciplined up until this point that I don't even think they will make that mistake. And if you don't do that mistake, obviously it's easier said than done. But if you don't do it, play for the big round that you want to have. And France is doing exactly that. They want to clean up everyone, and they're doing so perfectly. So shout out to France right now. They are looking dangerous towards their northern side. If they continue clean out players like that, and I think there's not a single team that's alive as a full four-man there, so they should have the man advantage in every single one of these fights. I think it becomes all the more likely that France is just taking control of this round. But looking back at the city, talking about control, it's just nowhere near to be found. Everyone is being shot at. Everyone has lost a player already as more nades now being thrown between Spain especially. And I do believe still Turkey inside the city towards the east.
Yeah, I think Turkey is just holding for now. They're just trying to stay clean in this. Like you said, they don't want to exert all the control. They just want to stay alive in this. Spain on the other side, they're fighting for dear life, right? They have to win this fight. They need space here to play, and they need space to move away from the hill. But they have a little bit of help in the form of Croatia, just peppering shots into the back lines here. So they're making this a tiny bit easier for the Spanish squad. Circle's been kind as well. Circle's come south, and Circle means that Churchill is still somewhat in play, but really there's not a whole lot of space left. So if you're not taking out members of other teams that are around you, you're going to be left without space in just a few seconds here.
Yeah, it's still going to be really tough for France now. I said they cleaned this up perfectly. They did 8 frags, but look at the distance they need to cross. Realistically, it really depends on how much of the compound is still in. I could even see them just breaching the compound, because I think at this point they've cleaned out almost everyone on the southern side. France is plowing through this lobby, 8 frags already, and you can tell I don't even think there's anyone left towards the northwestern side. So if there isn't, they could first of all either breach the western side or breach Poland. I think none of that is going to be third party by anyone. No one's really got an angle on this, because everyone that's fighting is towards the southern side. And you can see it right here. Carrasco has put us some good shots. They're trying to clean up Armenia, and somehow they made it out alive as 3-man. But now Turkey is coming in through the backlines. Doring gets taken down already as they clean up plays in the process, but they have to be careful themselves, because I think it's only 2 players left standing now for Turkey, and 3 Spanish soldiers, I guess you could say, still somehow roaming around that hillside.
I think Turkey's trying to do both at the same time here. They're leaving a player back, and then they've put a player close up to try and anchor this down and try and keep any sort of movement from Spain from coming out. But you can see Croatia as well, just on both sides of this fight, trying to hold on. They're trying to fend off France while also not dying to Spain on the hill, and it's so tricky for them. They have so little to play. They already got their 8 elims, but they have to be just so quick and clean on the shots now. Now Spain getting knocked might be a little bit of a breather, might be a sigh of relief, but France is closing in. You see on the minimap, they want this, and they're not going to stop before they get it.
Yeah, they're not going to stop indeed. France, in my opinion, right now, the strongest teams in terms of just disciplined play in this lobby. They've shown it in the first game as well. I think Sanok was a huge factor in why they couldn't really progress further. Just not enough playing room, just too many sightlines. But on this one, they're playing it to absolute perfection. I got to give them credit for it. More space now being taken. They want to kind of test the waters up towards the northern side. They want to see how much more they can do against Croatia as well, and maybe even how many more potentially even kill points they can pick up. Because look at this, Croatia, Turkey, and I think even Armenia is still alive. So that's almost half the lobby up towards the northern side. And they've now taken this spot. That's what I expected them to do. Yeah. Expand towards the western side. That's where the sightlines from Poland are not kicking in just yet. And then just clean up everyone there. First nade goes through. It's blue going down as France are looking to pick up more placements and also kill points towards the southern side.
It's as well, they have the position now, they have the space now, they just have to wait for that Churchill to be out. They just have to wait for them to come down. They don't have to run up there, they don't have to go in close range. They're taking the knocks, they're putting out the pressure, now even a knock towards Turkey, but they can wait, and they can bide their time here. One more shift is coming, and if things don't go completely crazy, all of those teams on the south here will have to move down, and France can just free farm here. This is maybe the time where Poland needs to get involved if they want to win this game. They might be having to get aggressive here towards France, but they might not know that. They might not have the perfect idea of how they're set up and how this map is separated. But I think this is the time where you see France knocking the kill feed, you have to explode if you're Poland. And Oh boy, Pusher thought he was sneaky with it. Turkey says no.
No, Turkey says no. That was a good pickup. Good team play as well. Baiting him with a card, and the second player who exited earlier takes him down. This is a push now towards France. Both players fall. Somehow Victor and Rob's being caught off guard there by the engaging Turkish players, but the two trades immediately happen. There's good cover coming in from Navalov and Noviks. But the question is, can they get their players back up in time? Because be reminded, it's Poland on the other side, and right now, they're not doing anything. Surprisingly to me, I think they should have already exited the compound, breached out. But if Poland continues not doing anything, they might get a player back up. Rob's now being flashed out, so only one potential pickup still there for France. But yeah, you can see Poland still not breaching out and branching out and taking edge more space as I would have loved them to do, because these are the last two teams fighting. And I just realized Turkey is on 15 frags. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they've been absolutely mental around that Pachinki area. You remember when I said they were splitting up to do both sides at once? They ruined both sides at once. They're on 15 elims right now, and I think, like you said, Poland slept a little bit here because France was down to 2, Turkey down to 1. They've just let them reset this completely. And Poland's been a little bit too scared, a little bit too passive here. They're taking the space now, but they're giving France a fighting chance here. One knock coming out from a big gun like the MK14. Could be the decider here. And there's the first knock. There's a nade coming to follow this. This is not looking clean right now for Poland. I think they might be okay, but what is that? 1 HP! And he comes over the top. He looks for the second as well. These France guys are absolutely mental right now. They're on fire, and they're trying to close things. Poland has the big advantage here, Felix.
Yeah, zone advantage, man advantage, positional advantage. So literally everything going the way of Poland right now. But it's Navalov, and he's got that MK in hand. It might be enough, but it isn't. Unfortunately, it isn't for any France fan. Poland is not only going to secure a second place, but they're going to secure the chicken dinner right after. Massive, massive stuff coming out from Poland. And my goodness, these guys seem to be even more consistent than any of the other top teams out there. I didn't think Poland was going to perform like they did right here. Massive stuff.
Really good stuff from them. I think we saw them flexing out of the compound a little bit earlier and making sure that they keep a little bit of the space for themselves, but they didn't want to overstep it. They lose a member there at some point. I'm not quite sure how, but they clean it up in the end, right? You have to be fair. It works in the end. Yeah. It was looking a little passive, but if it works, maybe they're just right, and maybe we're just wrong, right? There's a reason that they're playing and we're casting, and it works out for them in the end there. Some crazy scenes, though, in the early game there. Not just the hot drop, but this pull-up from Romania, I think, was mental. Yeah,
I talked to the Ukrainian coach very quickly, and he said, yes, they're going to qualify, but they also said it's going to be hard just contesting Turkey over and over again. And yes, that first game maybe wasn't, I want to say, as troublesome as we maybe thought it was, but still, I mean, contesting Turkey every single game is going to be a problem at some point.
Oh, 100%. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see if what the priorities are in the end. We see teams sometimes pull off towards the end when they realize, okay, we have to qualify and we can't be hot dropping and we can't be taking these fights so early on in the game. But I think the big thing for me here, obviously, besides the crazy performance of Turkey, racking up their 15, 16 kills, whatever they got away with at the end, is how clean France played that from the northern side, right? I think really good repositions. Yeah. They took exactly the right fights, and they didn't overstep into a fight. They didn't go too mental into any of them, but they also didn't sleep through any of them. So really, really well played by them as well.
Yeah, I got to say, their repositioning was absolutely perfect. Like, it was literally a masterclass. Now you want to play this. They realized all the players around them were at a man disadvantage, so they never really focused on anyone too soon or too late. They just knew the perfect time and when to engage everyone. And that's how they didn't lose a player in the process as well. This is not an easy feat, especially in these open kind of terrain-like open field endings. It's really easy to have someone overcommit, be taken down, be flushed because the sidelines are just there for everyone else. But it just didn't happen. And France, once again, not losing a player there, I think kind of the key on why they took second place. And I think if not for Turkey rushing down that hillside, they would have won this game as well.
Yeah, I think